studios, madam.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
To our view the discussion on our WhatsApp line 055-744-6429, 055-744-6429, or phone in when the time is due on our 0264-000-997, 0264-000-997. We are also live on Facebook. Miss Jogbenuku, I mean, in 2020, it was such a heated period because it was elections. But right after the elections, it looks like we've gone so cold. We haven't heard from you and probably the PPP.
Well, you do understand that election year is election year. There's a period for campaigning. And when you're done campaigning, then you go for the elections, and whoever wins, you leave the stage to them. The PPP is there in the background, taking our notes, making our comments, sometimes holding press conferences here and there. It's interesting you bring it up because the PPP this year is actually 10 years old.
Wow.
The PPP was founded in 2012. It's a young party, but we've made waves. We've made our name known over the last few elections. And we will be celebrating the 10 years with a few activities. So we are not that quiet. You'll hear from us again.
Okay. We hope to hear from you very soon.
You will.
Okay, let's talk about the reason why you're here. First of all, can we start with how far we have come in our journey to give a voice to the woman, to the Ghanaian woman? Have we made any inroads?
I don't think the Ghanaian woman was ever really silent.
Okay.
And when I say we were never really silent, we're very resilient, we're very hardworking, we contribute a lot to the economy, but maybe we are not vocal. We don't make the worth of that agency felt. So we are not quiet, we are not silent. You will find that right now in a few of the international companies, organizations around our country, you have women in leadership positions heading these big multinationals. Our deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana is a woman. We've had two chief justices in the past, two lady chief justices who, of course, ladies, so they were women. We've had a woman speaker. So we haven't been quiet. It's not been silent. There's been growth, and there's still room for more growth. Sometimes maybe we only look at the mainstream parliament and say, oh, look at our parliament. Indeed, it's nothing to be celebrated. I think it's the 15% or 19%. Still very, very low. And it's not just women being represented there. I think that our worth must be seen. Our agency must be heard. And this is what we are all pushing for. Because, I mean, we all have seen what is happening in Parliament. Do you believe, seriously, that if there were more women in Parliament, Parliament would be reduced to fisticuffs?
No. We are too mature for that.
It's not even the fact that we are not built that way. We don't physically, very rarely do you see two women, you know, at blows with each other. And that is just the way we are made. And our leadership is about the same. We believe in influential leadership, not authoritarian leadership. So the more women we get there with their, and when you see, when a woman is empowered, she's interested in empowering other people. She doesn't want to remain there and be boss. She's nurturing, because we are naturally made to nurture other people, to grow other people and bring them along. So the more women we have in key leadership positions in organizations and institutions around the country, the better it is for everybody, not just us women, but for everybody. And that is what we are pushing for. Yes, we've made some inroads, but there's always room for growth.
When you look at the political scene, for instance, women although in some circles women are given that leverage of not being competed with and all that, some of the women also are reluctant to come out to probably stand for leadership positions and all that. I know there are challenges with monetary, financial challenges and all that, but some women, although intellectual enough, do not find it confident enough to come out.
You see, the political stage or arena is hostile to women. Okay. It's mean. They insult you. I mean, we've come a long way from the days that people like Hawa Yakubu and many other people were insulted or were beaten or were castigated. We've come a long way from there. Now, it's still hostile. You mentioned the financial bit. I mean, 2020, my filing fees was 100,000 cedis, just as much as any man was paying. And that would go for any woman parliamentary candidate. And when you go and try to find that money, it has all kinds of interpretations. It's not as kind to you as a woman, as a man, as it is to a man. Okay. So you have a very hostile, and then when you try and you get there, you have the men who are behind you trying to bring you down. We've had a case of a woman who was a very good representative of her people in Akwitia who was shifted aside. We all saw that. So it's difficult. And that, of course, is intimidating to a lot of women. You must be thick-skinned. You must decide that, you know what, I'm not going to listen to what anybody is saying. I know what I want. I know my goal. I know my vision. And I'm just going to forge ahead towards that. It doesn't take, it's not so easy for everybody. So intellectually, yes, but it's not only intellect that that runs a country or runs that gives intellectual potential is not the only sign of leadership. Okay. You've got to have wisdom. You have to be compassionate. You have to be able to relate to your people. You must be able to reach across lines that divide, religious, ethnic, whatever. You must have all these. And there are people who have all these, but may not be. And if you define it only in intellectual terms, then once again, you're cutting out certain women. Okay. But there are women who are indeed good leaders who may not be that intellectually high up there, but they do have leadership potential. They are able to say, hey, come along with me, let's go and do this together. And that is what we should allow for that. We should let and that is how I think she was Ajwa say, Akwitia. Yeah. Amase. They said, well, she's a hairdresser, but she was a leader. And her people believed in her. And that is what we should be looking out for, not simply the intellectual.
Let's come to a typical workplace where women also face some challenges. So dates, women still are harassed sexually. So dates, they aren't given certain opportunities because they are women. Women must work twice as hard to prove themselves.
Let me give you that quote better. They say women must work twice as hard as men to be thought of as half as good. But fortunately, that is not difficult. We see that's the quotes. Yes.
So can you tell us, do these things still persist? I mean, how badly do these things still persist?
They do. I mean, if you ask women in the corporate setting, for example, they'll give you examples of how they go to meetings. They say something, they don't listen to them, and the man will say the same thing, parroting them, and they say, oh, that's a good idea. We still have that. Okay. Yes, we still have harassment. We still, even to the highest level, you can even be harassed if you are the leader of the group. If you ask women, they'll tell you where somebody thinks they can soften you up, and therefore they are going to, you know, try to. I've had that before, where one of my employees started calling me up in the mornings. So I'm only calling to say good morning. It was harassment. I was his boss, and I had to tell him, like, my friend, you're not allowed to call me. You'll see me in the office. So these things still happen. And it is not just harassment. It's also patriarchy and patronage where, oh, mommy, oh, you know, people trying to soften you up and play you down because you're a woman. It's still there. But what we must understand is that that is our opportunity to exert our leadership skills and also let people understand that it's changing. The weather, the climate is changing, where more women are going to come into leadership, and you must be able to work with them because they are bringing something of value, of worth to the organization. They are not only there to be seen as women that can be played with.
So to drum this home better, I'm sure that's why you founded the Mentoring Women Ghana. Tell us about it.
Yes, you see, I am alumnus of U.S. State Department's exchange program. So I'm alumnus of the U.S. Ghana International Exchange Association. In 2008, I partook in an exchange program called the Fortune U.S. State Department Global Women's Mentoring Partnership. I went to be mentored by a woman who headed the WNBA, that's the Women's National Basketball Association. She has since left. I mean, 2008 is a long time ago. And so I was mentored by her and got to know the business of basketball. But not only then, I used to work at Aviation Social Center at the time. Not only that, but also to observe a woman in leadership and how she did her things, where she went, how she could, all that. And for 3.5 weeks, I was in her company and getting to know her. One of the things we did when we were on that program was there was 40 of us from different countries. We were made to visit different women in leadership positions, and we visited this woman called Geraldine. And Geraldine, she had an organization called Oxygen Media, and they had the Nickelodeon and all these children channels. And she told us that because she was a very busy woman, and now I understand her busyness because I've become one. When girls wanted to talk to her or pick advice from her, the only time she found was when she would go walking. So she'd say, come walking with me, and we can, in the morning, and we can talk. Now, if it's important to you, you will go, and she will talk to you about many different things. Whilst, when we spoke to her, we all thought, oh, what a brilliant idea. And actually, while sitting with her, I said it, that, you know, I work at a place, a recreational center, where we go for walks. We do organize these walks, and one of our walks, maybe we should do it like that. I came back, and then the lady in Nigeria at the time, one of the ladies from Nigeria, Lucy, she brought up the idea that let's organize one of these. So in 2008, 5 countries, I think it was Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Argentina, and I think another of the Latin American countries. We held the first ever global mentoring walks in 2008. I held mine they held it theirs in November 2008. I held mine in February 2009. The next year we held it, I decided, so Ghana decided we're going to hold it to coincide with International Women's Day. So they all came on board. So since 2008, walks have been held around the country every year. This year, there's going to be 62, there's going to be 141 walks in 62 countries. So 141 locations in 62 countries. Accra, Ghana being one of them. So what we've done is we've recruited about 50 young ladies. They've come from all over. In fact, some started arriving today from Tamale. We found them mentors. Women have signed on as mentors who are going to come and walk with them on Saturday morning from Volta Hall Gardens and around the University of Ghana, nice quiet roads. They chit-chat about life, they learn from one another, and they start the beginnings of a mentoring relationship where the mentee can call the mentor up and say, oh, you know, can I get your ideas on how to do this, or who to see for this, and things like that. But before then, tomorrow and Friday, we're getting them to visit organizations with women's leadership. So they're going to parliaments to meet some of the women in 10 of the women in parliament, I believe. Then we're going to see some of the lady justices, and then we'll go to some organization, some other organization, GEPA and a few others.
We'll come to the details of the program probably at the tail end. But you, before starting your mentoring organization, was first mentored. You mentioned Geraldine.
Yes.
What did you learn from her?
Well, with Geraldine, what I learned from her was, you know, that mentoring actually goes a long way to improve. And look at what it's done to me. I am interested in mentoring now. So it goes to empower other people.
It has a ripple effect.
It has a ripple effect. Yeah. And when I think back, Jerry or Donna are not my first mentors. My sister, for example, was my mentor, whether she knew it or not. When she was in University of Ghana, and she would say, come with me, come and stay with me for the weekend, or come and stay with me from Thursday till Monday. I watch her going for lectures with her friends. I see them cooking, going to buy food. I was inspired and I wanted to do that too. Or even your mother sometimes mentors you unconsciously. She brings you up and says, do it this way, don't do it that way, don't make the same mistakes that I made. A word of advice here, a word of advice there. So mentoring comes naturally to us women, actually. It's different from the men. The men mentor too, but it's, come, let's go to the bar. Okay. Or come, let's go and watch the football game. Okay. That's also mentoring. It's not a bad thing, but we do it differently.
Okay. So we'll be taking a look at how to make an economic sense out of mentoring. But I want to find out from you, since you started mentoring women, what needs have you derived or deduced from your interactions with them?
Well, I don't like to dwell on the needs as much as what benefits they get. Okay. So we've had some very good friendships and relationships formed out of the mentoring work. And up until today, there are people who were mentors in 2008 who were mentees and are now mentors on the mentoring work. At least 5 of them are participating this year. So one of them, Fanny Ampo, I think she used to work with you. She was a mentee in 2008. She's become a mentor because she's grown and she's still in touch with her mentor from 2008. So the relationship, the networks that are built, the good best practices that are learned from one another, even the peer mentoring, because from the mentoring relationship, these 50 girls who are coming together, they form friendships. In 5-10 years, they will be in positions where one says, oh, I need employment, or they form a network. So a peer network from which they can learn from each other or get help from each other. And it's in the past, when we had some corporate organizations taking on 4 to 6 mentees, they would let them come and intern with them, and some went on to employ them. I would speak of EcoBank, Standard Chartered, Stanbic, Barclays. They supported us and also took on some mentees. Okay. Yes. All right.
So let's come to making an economic sense out of mentoring. Let's say I'm a young lady, I've come to you. I want to do something with my life, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. How would you guide me to probably achieve my goals or attain my dreams? Yes.
Good. As part of the Global Mentoring Walk program, I said to you that we have 2 days before the walk. Yeah. We actually have a session on goal setting and visioning. And your goal setting, sometimes, and we are taking them also to see a woman who has a garden, green gold. Okay. And out of gardening, she's making economic sense out of it. So we are taking them, this year, we are trying to teach them to find your passion and see how you can make a living out of your passion. I'll give you an example. I also sell palm oil. You didn't introduce that. I sell Jomi. I think that is the best in Ghana. Okay. And I've just marketed myself there. But the women in my hometown whose Jomi I sell are doing it not because they want money. They are doing it because they like doing it and it sells. They like producing a good product and it sells. So what we are teaching the mentees is find out what you like doing and then try to make economic sense out of it. Okay. So, for example, if we are taking them to Green Gold or to GEPA, there are several women who are in GEPA or who are entrepreneurs, have small to medium scale enterprises into palm oil, into shea butter, into artisanal chocolates and things like that. And all of them are working from a place of interest. They are not working because, oh, that thing will make me money. They are they are doing these businesses from a place of interest. If you ask each of them, they have a story to tell, to say, when I was young, I liked this. When I was young, I liked cosmetics. When I was young, my mother used shea butter on my skin, and I found I liked it. And so these are things you have to find that thing that you like, and you're good at. The women who sell whatever they sell, there's a story behind it. Find the story behind it, and make it a product to sell.
Okay, so one of your goals in establishing your Mentoring Women Ghana is to develop the women, or probably let them believe in themselves that they could be better leaders wherever, because you would want to see them occupy leadership positions in organizations and other spaces they find themselves. What are some of the traits that a leader must have? I mean, if you're mentoring me and it's to becoming a good leader, what are some of the traits that you probably, as you engage the women, you let them know?
You see, when the mentees apply to take part in the global mentoring walk, they fill a form.
Okay.
And from the form, we ask about leadership. We ask questions that will show us whether you do have leadership qualities. We take those answers, those essays, and look at them. And sometimes people say, oh, I was dining hall prefect, or I was prefect in this class. We look at integrity, honesty. We look at the desire to pay whatever you're getting from this experience back to someone, either in your house or in your church or in your school, amongst your peers. You must always be willing to empower another. Not so simply saying you want to be in leadership, like I said before, it's not only because I want to be in authority, but I want to influence other people. I want to bring other people along. I want to empower other people. And that's a sign of wanting to influence other people is one of the things we look out for. You want to pass on what you've gotten onto other people, not to keep it for yourself.
Okay, so do every one of them have leadership skills? I mean, is it necessary that they should have leadership skills? Is it everybody who qualifies to be a leader?
You must show. I mean, they apply, and by applying alone, there is an interest.
Okay.
You must be focused. Sometimes not everybody qualifies. This year, I think we got probably over 75 or 80 applications, but we were taking 50.
Okay.
Sometimes we've gotten more, and then we were used to take 40, but we extended it to 50 this time. Not everybody shows signs of leadership. Some people completely misunderstand. Sometimes we look at the ISAs and say, you know what, give this person a chance. Maybe you've got to write your profile, for example. Sometimes we find that, oh, the profile writing is a bit sketchy, but there's room for growth. We do understand that they are all growing. These are young ladies between 18 and 25. Sometimes I ask myself, if I was 25, how would I answer some of these questions? So we pick up on the potential as well, and then we take them on and pair them with people with like minds. So we ask them about their interests, their hobbies, and what they are studying if they are in school. And we pair them then with women in similar areas.
So I'll come back to you to tell me probably whom you pair them with, how long they are supposed to stay, and how far your mentees have gone. You mentioned Fanny, but I'm sure since you started your organization a few years ago, you've had some mentees who have also gone that far. If you like to contribute to our conversation today, we are talking about mentoring women to achieve their goals or their heart desires. Our WhatsApp lines are 055 744 055 744 6429, and our phone in lines are 0264 000 0264 000 We are also live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. So let me come back to you, madam. I asked earlier, I mean, whom do you pair your mentees with after you have selected them? And for how long a period? And have you seen any progress? What are the